Today's topic is insecurity in dating. Guys, have you been in relationships in the past where your significant other has displayed, attributes of insecurity, or, can you talk more about how it's affected their relationship?
The answer is yes, I have, and it drives me nuts.
It's
one of the most aggravating things when it's almost like you're being faulted for something you didn't do all the time. And I've been on the side of being the insecure person, but growing past that, then having to be in a relationship with an insecure person, I actually got to see what I was putting people through. And it's misery, like you just feel like you never do anything right. And then you just feel, you want to say constantly, who are you really talking to? But what is this really about? It's just the pit. It was the pit for me.
It's like always an underlying issue.
Always an underlying, always a problem. And I think we were looking online before the show and we saw that one of the 5 ways to handle your insecurity as it relates to relationships is to stop focusing on the negative.
Correct.
And so you feel like you're in a relationship where somebody is always dwelling on the negative, whether it's you, someone else, or something in or out of the relationship, or internal, but it's always negative.
I think it's an issue within yourself. I think everybody, whenever you get into a relationship, both each other have insecurity issues, but you have to focus more on the relationship instead of the individual. So if what I'm saying is, stop, the insecurities is coming from you, so stop focusing on the insecurities of the individual and start focusing on the relationship and how to make it work. Because I truly believe a lot of people break up into relationships is because of insecurities. And it's not number 1. I think it's probably number 3 or whatever category it is. I don't care. But I think it's the main issue is insecurities. We all hold an insecure. Go on. Next.
Well,
I agree with that, though. I agree with it. Yeah, I agree with
I do think that insecurity is just a manifestation of fear.
Yeah.
And most people haven't really taken the time to do some self-analysis and some inventory of their lives, their past relationships, the way they were raised, the things that happened to them when they were young, and how that's manifesting in their current life. And everything from their business relationships, their personal relationships, and their love relationships. And most people don't have the financial means to seek some kind of professional assistance. So for me, that's why I think it's important to have some kind of strong spiritual grounding, whatever that be. And that's just for me. But I deal with insecurity personally. I don't know anybody who doesn't.
The key is loving yourself. And I think that's the key of any relationship. You have to love yourself before you love anybody else. And that is breaking that insecurity. So, and hell, I would date a woman if she loved the ground she walked on the feet, because I know I wouldn't have to worry about her issues. And then that shows me that, hey, if she loves me, then that means I don't have to worry about my issues as well. And we can work together and move on, have babies, do whatever we want to do.
But you know what? People are oftentimes not honest. Yeah. I mean, when we talk intellectually, we know everybody has insecurities, but then when you get engaged with people, they aren't as forthcoming in saying, these are my insecurities, A, B, C, and D, and these are the issues I have. And I don't know about you guys, but I think it's important to talk about what some of those things are.
Yeah, I think we've all kind of said it in some way. It's about the whole healing aspect and the communication aspect of saying, hey, these are my issues. Let's put it out there on the table. Let's address these.
But to be honest
issues
with you, they're not going to tell you right up when I meet somebody. I'm not going to say, hey, this is our first date. Hey, these are all my issues.
Not right away.
Well, yeah, I mean, but we discussed that in previous episodes. When to bring certain things to the table, but when the appropriate time comes along,
it should be brought up.
Then we bring it up and we say, hey, these are my insecurities. Right. If you see me acting kind of weird, if somebody ever mentions certain topics, this is why I'm acting weird, because I have an insecurity.
Right, but here's the problem that I've experienced is some women will say, I have some insecurities and this is just who I am, and it's because men have done this to me and they've done that to me, but they're not willing to do anything about it.
You can't work with anybody who doesn't want to do the work. It has to be somebody who wants to do the work of change, whether it's spiritually with themselves or with a therapist or a counselor. You got to want to do the work. Otherwise, your relationships don't stand a fighting chance. And I agree, it's your love relationships, it's your family relationships, because this stuff doesn't discriminate. When you're insecure across across relationships. So if you feel inferior in your love relationships, that inferiority is going to spill over into your business relationships as well. So
like that bag lady.
Yeah, the bag lady and the bag man. You're going to come into every relationship like that. So I mean, and this is one I think we all agree on, that you definitely have to take an inventory of your own stuff, and that's what we want to encourage our viewers to do. We get to talk a lot behind the scenes, and so we are people who are doing the work, and we're trying as best as we can, but we want to encourage you. All of us have insecurities. Don't feel bad about that, but take your own personal inventory, do your work, so that your relationships can stand a fighting chance. That's what the Krew is about, is these fresh perspectives on relationships. And so the fresh perspective we want you to have is that insecurities are okay, but it's not okay for you not to do anything about it. Okay? Continue following us. If you haven't liked us already, get on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and it's easy. It's the same name across those. It's the Krew 13. So look us up, like us, follow us, share it with your friends. Keep coming back to watch. Send us show topics in. You can email us at onekrewlove@gmail.com. That's ONEKREWLOVE@gmail.com. Send your topics in, and we'll be talking about what you want to talk about. Thanks for watching.
Next week on The Krew.